Faida number 27 from the book Ma'rakatun Nas by Shaykh Bilal Ismail. He titles it as The Secularization of Islam. So you have think tanks, policymakers, influential politicians who are pushing this agenda, secularism, the political philosophy that believes in separation between the state and religion. That religion should not influence the laws, the constitution, it should not influence education and policies. So this is secularization, the secular state. The opposite is theocracy, where they look to God, where they look to Allah to provide them with divine guidance. That God, Allah, is the one who guides, He provides true guidance, and then we implement that in our daily lives. Like for example, Saudi Arabia, the Vatican, Iran, etc. These are some of the theocratic states. Then the Sheikh mentions a story. He says that he was in a taxi and he got talking to this taxi driver. And the topic went, and the taxi driver is like saying, you know, people should not force others to perform salah. They should not force people and close the businesses at the time of salah. That people have a choice when it comes to women and covering up. And all of these matters here, people have the choice. People have the freedom. I'm a Muslim, but everybody has their choice whether they want to do, they don't want to do. Leave the people to do what they want. Give them nasiha, advise them, etc. But implementing, applying policies, placing laws and stuff like this here, then this is something which is not on. So the Sheikh says, I was sitting and thinking about what this taxi driver had said. That the reality is he's an ordinary layman. He's not somebody who has read this book on secularism or that one or this philosophy and this theory. No. Ordinary layman. But he has absorbed the core principles of secularism. The core principles of ilmaniyya, secularism, without knowing it. What do we do with the verses of the noble Quran? أَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ, and establish the prayer and pay the zakah. Allah is ordering here. Allah is giving an order. What do we do with وَالسَّارِقُ وَالسَّارِقَةُ فَقْطَعُوا أَيْدِيَهُمَا, that the male and the female who steals, then cut off the hand. What do we do with this verse? What do we do with the verse وَلَا تَنْكِحُوا مَا نَكَحَ آبَاؤُكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ, that you're not allowed to make nikah with the woman that your father was married to. Father was married to this one woman and then he divorced her. Can you go and marry her? No, you're not allowed. But if we talk about let people do as they wish, leave them, they have the freedom, they have the choice. The thief, you cannot implement any penalty upon him. The person who is not praying, the person who is not paying their zakah, you cannot force them. You cannot place laws to enforce these matters. These verses and many others, they are directed, important, they are directed to the individual and to the society, for both of them to implement. Implement what? Implement what the Creator wants. You are Muslim, you say that you are a submitter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, individually, in your personal life, and also as a society, you have to implement what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. No distinction between the individual and the society. That while on an individual level, I have to do. But as a society, no, we don't have to. Absolutely not. Didn't Allah state in the noble Quran that the one who does not judge by what Allah has revealed, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ, they are the oppressors, they are the kafirun, the disbelievers, they are the fasiqun, etc. Are we not ordered to order the good, as the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has stated, that if you see some evil, then you need to correct it, you need to prevent the evil. تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. One of the salient features of this ummah is that we order the good and we prevent the evil. Then the Shaykh gives some examples of creeping secularism, where for example some fuqaha, some scholars, some individuals, some thinkers, they state, well, you know what, the matters of jihad, yes, jihad is there, we believe in jihad, it's a noble Quran, but jihad is only when it comes to defense. When for example your land has been taken and you guys have been under under siege, the enemy has pounced upon you, that's only the time when jihad is legislated. Riba, yes, riba is in the noble Quran, but what is riba? Riba is when we exploit the poor. As for the rich person dealing in riba and all of these matters, this is fine. But when we exploit the poor, then that type of riba is impermissible. When it comes to the laws of apostasy, well, this was not that you leave the religion, but rather you go against the society. So like the rebel against the society, that's when we apply these rules. When it comes to that the Muslim is supposed to be the Khalifa, supposed to be the person in charge, etc., then the answer is given, no. Rather, this was during a time when it was a majority Muslim community, when it was a majority Muslim state, and also when the religion played a very important role in the lives of the people. Well, times have changed, and so you can have a non-Muslim as the head of the state. Then when it comes to, well, the issue of a woman being in charge of the state, well, same story. At that time, women were not really in public and doing all of these type of jobs, and so that was the reason for the rule at that time, and we need to obviously adjust it today. Similarly, with regards to the rules of wala and bara, that was at that time when religion was such an important matter. Rather today, it's the state and the borders of your state, etc. Thus, at the end of the day, subhanallah, you have various ahkam of the sharia only there by name, but there's no substance to them whatsoever. So these are examples of creeping secularization. Allah musta'an.